Hello everyone, in this video I'll be talking about what's better, high bar squats or low bar squats. So this kind of depends on what style of training you're looking to do. If you're more of a power lifter, low bar is probably better, but high bar is more suited for Olympic weightlifting or people that are into bodybuilding styles of training, and I want to get into why. So let's start with just the basics. The squat, depending on where you're putting the bar, it's going to cause a little bit of different emphasis on the muscles that you are using. When you have the bar up higher, the high bar, you're going to have to keep your torso more upright, which is going to put more strain on your quads as you go through the range of motion. Keeping the bar upright, keeping the chest nice and high, causes you to hinge less through your hips, which is going to lower the amount of glute and lower back activation. So it puts more of the emphasis through the knees, so you're getting more quad action there, and it's going to be a little bit more like a front squat in a sense. Typically when you're doing high bar styles of training, you're going to get more quad development from it because you're going to have to get deeper into the squat than you would if the barbell was a little bit lower on your back, and the mechanics do change because you're keeping the chest upright versus letting the chest drop down and get a bit of a hip hinge into the movement. So high bar is great if you wanted to get the most muscular hypertrophy out of the exercise, because it's going to put a little bit extra into making yourself get down lower and bending through the knees a bit more. But if your goal is optimal strength, like just absolute power in terms of getting your 1 rep max up, low bar squats can be a lot better in that instance. So the reason why is because you're hinging through your hips, which is going to recruit more into the gluteals, your lower back, and your hamstrings versus just staying upright with the bar. This ends up making it more like a deadlift of senses. When you deadlift, you're of course hinging through the hip. When you low bar squat, you do get a bit of that hip hinge movement going on in it. Not to the point where it is a deadlift, not what I'm saying, but there is some hip hinge movements and qualities to it that allows you to recruit more muscle fibers and therefore exert more force. So that's what we want to be able to do, is create more force with our exercise. The low bar squat typically is going to be you'll be able to squat about 10% more if you're able to fully optimize your low bar positioning. Now, this is not to say go throw 10% more weight on your back if you've been just doing high bar the whole time, because when you transition to low bar, you got to make sure your form is perfect, because anytime you're putting emphasis on the lower back, there is a risk for injury. So with going into more of a low bar squat, you're going to obviously lower the weights a little bit at the start, and then you can develop it back up, but you will be stronger usually in the low bar positioning because you are recruiting more muscle fibers. So what's better, low bar or high bar, really comes down to what your own individual goals are. If you're looking to be a big bodybuilder and build up the most amount of muscle, high bar squat's probably going to be better for you because you don't want to injure your lower back first, but two, it's going to be better for muscular recruitment, going through more of that range of motion, and it's going to develop the quads a bit more, which is usually what people want to work on and grow, because big quads look great. Whereas when you're doing low bar, it's going to end up being a little bit of the lower back, a little bit of glutes, which is good too, but you can isolate those in other exercises, so it's not necessary. But for bodybuilding and Olympic weightlifting, I haven't even talked about that. I've been mostly focused on the bodybuilding aspects of high bar, but when you're keeping your chest upright on a high bar squat and you're big into Olympic lifting, it will transfer over into that front rack position when you're doing your clean and jerks into the jerk portion or the press portion. So you're able to get lower in your squat, catch the bar a little bit lower, and it translates a little bit better from that high bar positioning into that front squat position rather than the low bar into that front squat. So yeah, front squats and high bars are kind of in that more knee dominant, quad dominant area, whereas the low bar ends up being more lower back, glute focus. Not a massive difference, but you can get about 10% more strength on that low bar. So yeah, let me know which one you prefer in the comments below. I am weird, and my personal best is actually high bar. 425 squat, high bar. My low bar, for some reason, was not able to catch up to that, and then I had a knee injury, so I haven't been able to work on that in a very long time. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video.